Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing great. I'm Dusty LaValley. I'll be the host of this webinar. Thrilled to have you here with us. Okay, just before we get started, a couple notes. Your microphone and your cameras, I believe, are all shut off just for unintended distractions. You can, as I'm going through this webinar, if you have any questions or anything like that, you can just feel free to use the chat feature there at the bottom, and we'll get to those towards the end of the webinar. It should only take about 10 or 15 minutes to run through this. It's a pretty simple program. And if you're a little bit confused as we're going through it, don't worry, because we will be sending you a video after the webinar is over. So no problem there. So I guess we can just dive right into it. And this program, before we get started, is just basically, it's a fully automated system, really intended for moving heavy equipment. And we've shipped thousands of loads now. We've shipped in and out of just about every state and every province across North America here. So it is working well, and customers see a lot of value in using it. So primarily, we really focus on the heavy equipment like dozers, excavators, things of that nature, combines, a lot of farm equipment, tractors, and we even get into the smaller little loads, the partial loads. It could be just pallets, or even sometimes vehicles, things like that. So it's quite versatile that way. In the future, we intend on getting into some other segments of the industry, maybe livestock hauling or commodity hauling or whatnot. So, but for now, this is what it is. So to get started, this is our website, and feel free to download our app if you desire. It's quite a nice experience if you use the app. But just on our homepage, there's lots of information here to direct you through the system. If you have questions, there's a lot of how-to videos and how it works up in some of these tabs here. But to get started, it's very simple. You just click on Get Your Shipping Quote Now. And once you get in, we've designed this thing to be very, very simple to use. I mean, I don't like technology, so I built it for people like me, basically. So there's no really stumbling around and trying to figure out how to use it. It's right into action. So first of all, it's asking for your pickup location. And I'm just going to buzz through this really quickly, and it's only going to take me about 30 seconds. And I'm going to go through real quick, 3-step process. I'll get the quote, and I'll show you just how fast it is, but then I'll back up and I'll explain a little bit more in detail of each step. So just bear with me. So I'm just going to type in my pickup location and select from the drop down. I go next, drop off location. For this example, I'm just going to type in Calgary, and I go next. And here we just give it a quick verification. It looks like everything is correct in my pickup and drop off. For my piece of equipment that I'm shipping, for this example, I'm just going to type in a D6R, and there's my D6R. Weight and dimensions auto-populates. I go next. And there's my shipping quote instantly. So never before has there, in my unbiased opinion, this is a great piece of technology. Nobody's ever really done this before. So we're pretty excited about it, pretty thrilled. It's just very simple to use. So that's what it would cost to ship a D6 from Grand Prairie to Calgary. So let me just back up, and I'll explain each step a little bit more. So in the pickup location, here in a feature, we have some crosshairs. Well, first of all, I can click on this Use My Current Location. So if I happen to be sitting at the pickup location or the drop-off location, I just simply click on this Use My Current Location, and it'll auto-populate where I'm actually sitting. There's me at my farmyard working remotely. So I can actually take these crosshairs and drag them, and wherever they land, wherever I drag them to, I can say, okay, I want my tractor picked up right here in this corner of the field. Then I go to the next screen, and same on this screen, it all functions the same. And I can type in a business name, I can type in a postal code, it recognizes basically anything. But for now, I'll just leave it as Calgary, and I go next. And then again, it's just a quick verification that looks proper. And if it's you've identified a mistake, you can just hit the back button. Very easy to navigate around. And in this spec searching tool, this is a really cool feature. We have over 200,000 pieces of equipment in here, and anything from ag equipment to big heavy construction equipment, forestry equipment, and whatnot. and it's very responsive. So I can start typing. I'm just going to type in 180 GLC. And so this is an excavator. And as I'm typing, it has the intelligence to figure out what I'm searching for. So there's my 180 GLC, and I can click on that and it auto-populates. The weight and dimensions is right there. So no more, guessing. We do request that you have a look at this and verify. Sometimes these excavators could have an extra bucket or something like that, or some of the equipment might have some extra attachments. So you can verify that and make sure that things are proper. If you do need to make some changes, you can always come in here and manipulate it. So you can just call this 50,000 pounds based on a couple other attachments or whatever you're talking about there. And again, we can type in, just for a combine, for an example, I'll type in a 8240 Case IH. So there's my combine, and I can click on that. And again, if for this example, if the combine I know has a 14-foot header on it or something like that, I can just go into the width and I can just make those adjustments, and then I can go next. So very simple, very easy to use, very quick and snappy. Now, we have some general categories in here too. So even if you by chance don't know the make and model of, say, a tractor, we have just some general categories in here as well. So really simple to use. We have different horsepower, different segments there. So kind of a general weight and dimensions for these different horsepowers. There's other things that are general in here, like a skid steer, for example. We have a general skid steer. Now, as you're typing, and if you're typing your make and model, and you can't actually find your particular exact match, you can just click on this no match manual entry, and then at that point you're just going to be taking your best educated guess, and we'll collect a little more information on the next page to try to help that trucker make a decision. But I'm just going to type in a couple of quick numbers here just to go through the process. So you've identified your pickup drop-off location, you've used the spec searching tool, and now you've got your quote. Now you have a few options. You can ship it or you can save it, either or. Both of these buttons actually take you to the same place. But I'll show you one other feature before we go forward. There's this share button. So quite often we had this request from some of the folks that work at some of the auction companies and some of the big dealerships. They happen to have customers that they're trying to help them ship the equipment. So we designed a share button. So you just simply, you come in, you've got the quote for the customer, and then you can share it to them. You just simply hit that share button, type in their email, and share it away. And then they get notified, and they've got the details. It's already all fabricated for them. So the pickup, the drop off, the piece of equipment, and then they've got their quote. It's all there. And then they're just a couple clicks away, and then they can decide at that point if they want to go ahead with the shipment or not. So we go to the next page here, and here is the last and final page. It's like, again, it's a very simple program. This is the last and final page, and we're just going to collect a little bit more information. And ultimately what we're doing is we're trying to collect the information so that the trucker, he can identify what type of trailer unit he needs to come in there with, and what the kind of the time frame is and the schedule's like. So up here in this description, year, make, and model category at the top, this is where you can add some more detail in it. It's a skid steer with extra bucket. I'm just going to type in. You can type in any kind of that information, anything that you see valuable to the trucker. You can certainly add that in there. Ready for pickup, very simple. You just click here, open up the calendar, and there I can say it's ready for pickup today. I can also say it's ready for pickup. You know, if I know that there's a really good chance I'm going to need to ship this piece of equipment, but it's not going to be ready to go till Saturday, I can still do that. I can identify that it's not ready for pickup till Saturday, and I can still publish the load out to the drivers. That's no problem. And they can, you know, the earlier we get these loads out to the drivers, the better. That way they have more time to kind of lock it in with their schedule. And then a must be delivered by, we simply go here, and we like to give the drivers as much time as we can, at least a couple of days or whatnot, but it's ultimately, it's up to you. If you need it delivered, you know, within, it's ready for pickup on Saturday, but you need it delivered Saturday, you can do that. Our chances of successfully getting a piece of equipment moved for you might just come down a little bit, but we like to give the guys a couple of days anyway. That's where our success rate goes up. So I'm just going to select my appropriate date. Here we can add pictures. And when you're doing this on the app or on a mobile device, it's really easy just to jump into your photo album. But on my desktop here, it's just a couple of more clicks, but pretty simple. And just for this one, I go in here and I'm going to open this up and add this D6 that I have just an image of. So that's how easy it is to add that image. Very good idea to add images to your load sheet. That way the drivers can see them. And then again, ultimately they know what they need to come in there with for a particular trailer type. Here we're asking if the loading docks are available, yes or no. And again, if there's no loading dock and there's no, sometimes they have, you know, if we're loading a couple of pallets or something like that, well, loading would be provided perhaps. So you've got a tractor, you got a forklift, you got something there to get these things loaded, whatever the piece of equipment might be. So you go through here and just select your yes or no's and get all the fields checked off. And available load times, we found that there's about 3 main categories. So when is the trucker able to come in and pick up this piece of equipment? And so is it kind of business hours only, 8 to 5 Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 7 days a week, or 24/7? Or see special instructions. You can certainly type that in and then just add some notes. Add some notes in here, whatever kind of notes you see fit that the trucker would see value in seeing those notes. And then that's all there is to it. And once you've got this all filled out, the post load button down there at the bottom is illuminated and it's ready to go. So as soon as you publish the load, a notification goes out to all the drivers. So you're instantly contacting hundreds of drivers and eventually thousands of drivers. So pretty cool, pretty simple. And I always suggest to customers, like if you need to ship something, well, even if it's time sensitive and you need to get it done right away, it takes about 30 seconds to come in, publish load. And the worst case scenario is you can always delete the load out of our system if we don't happen to have a driver that's accepted to haul your load within 5 minutes or whatever it might be. And now to manage all of your activity, this little hamburger button in the top left-hand corner, this is your main menu drop down, and you click that hamburger button and My Loads opens up, or this main menu opens up. Now, to get into all your load activity, you just simply click on My Loads, and this is the draft that I just created. So any of my load activity, maybe I've got a couple of loads published in the system, maybe they're in different statuses. All of my load activity is here, and it's all nice and neat and ordered. So when you publish a load out to the drivers, now what happens is, and a lot of the communication is done through email if you're not using the app or whatnot, but a lot of it's a very simple process. It's all communicated to one step at a time. So when the load is published, you get a notification saying your load is published. When a driver accepts to haul your load, you'll be notified. Now what happens is when a driver accepts to haul your load, you'll be notified, and then inside that notification you'll have some options. And basically I'm just going to click on this other load that I have in accepted status, and you'll see what happens here. So it explains the driver has accepted to haul my load and is awaiting a confirmation. So here you have the option. You can look at that driver's profile, you can confirm this driver, or you can reject this driver if maybe you don't like what you see in his profile by chance. But you click on profile and open it up, and this is just a placeholder of me sitting there beside the big truck. But this is what it would look like. The name and the phone number and the contact details of the trucker are blurred out at this time just because the driver's not confirmed yet, so it's still confidential. But we just give you some of the information about this particular driver. So years of experience, how many star rating he is, how many loads he's hauled for us, things of that nature. You get to see his truck, you get to see him, and ultimately make a decision. Do you like the looks of this driver, or would you prefer somebody else? Or maybe if your load has no longer available or you don't need a driver, you just make sure you delete your load altogether right out of the system. So if you'd like to confirm this driver, this is where our system is very unique. We have a payment process that seems to work very, very well for both sides, the trucker and the customer. But if you want to confirm this driver and lock him in, then you pay for the shipment, and the money is held in our system in trust until the shipment's delivered. Then we do a direct deposit to the driver. And of course, if anything goes wrong or whatnot, we can also act as that middleman and do a refund if the need be. If you don't want to do a credit card payment, it's very simple. You just have to enter your credit card in here. But if you don't want to, you can click on this button and you can request a different payment process. That's no problem. And again, each step that you go through is communicated to you very simply. So it's a very simple program to use. And let me just flip over now to a different load that's in a different status. So this load, now let's pretend we have confirmed our driver, and now this is what it looks like. And again, you get a notification, but now I've made my payment, I've confirmed my driver. Now you see the driver's contact information. We have a delivery code. So this is pretty important. When the shipment is delivered and you're satisfied with everything and there's no damage, you can give the delivery code to the driver and he enters it on his side. And then that's when our system knows that the shipment's been delivered and we can do a direct deposit to the driver. Again, just a couple clicks away, your driver's phone number is right here and his email and contact information is right here and the load details are there. Again, if you want to see his full driver profile, you can click in there and go see that kind of information. If you have concerns about any insurances, like when our drivers sign up and register to be a driver, they do fill in some insurance policy numbers and whatnot, but we do suggest through some of our communication in here that you can request a hard copy of their insurance at any time if you desire. It's quite common for truckers. They just copy and paste a quick PDF and they send it off to customers daily, it seems like, so no problem there. Oops, let's go back into my loads here. And there's that draft. Now, if I want to delete any of these loads, I can go into it. I've got a save load status here, so I can go in and resume the load that I've saved. Maybe I saved it a week ago because I thought it was going to potentially turn into a full shipment. I can go into my save loads and I can resume, and very simple. You just go through and resume your load and then make sure it's all filled out properly and then publish the load. So again, very simple and easy to use. And if you want to, oops, that's the wrong one. I'm just going to go back in my loads. If you want to delete, I've got a load here saved. If I want to delete it, I can delete a load in any kind of status. So it's pretty simple and easy. I just go delete. Are you sure you want to delete it? Yes, I am. And we really do like getting information from our users. So what's the reason why you're deleting the load? It really helps us in getting better. But if you would like, you could select one of the boxes or just hit other and delete the load. So the load is now deleted, and it's just that easy. So now we're kind of getting through the nuts and bolts of it, but this is our main menu, and again, it's easy to maneuver into. It's just this hamburger button. Inside of this main menu feature, there's a few things. We can go into our edit profile. So if you desire, you don't want to receive emails, you only want text messages, you can just adjust those features right here, and so on and so forth. If you want to work in metric or imperial, you can make those adjustments here. If you want to work in US dollars or Canadian dollars, you can make those adjustments. So it's all, you just maneuver your profile to meet your desires. So it's makes the best user experience possible for you. There is a chat feature, and there is like, let me just back up here. So there is this chat feature here too. So this little phone call button, you can request a call back at any time, and our office staff will call you immediately. And then we do have a chat feature with us here as well. So if you have any questions through any of the process, you just quickly click on this, and it's just a very simple responsive messaging system, and you can talk directly with the admin at our office. So we're always there to help and answer any questions you might have. But now we do have another messaging system. Now this is more of a closed circuit between you as a customer and the drivers. So if you publish a load, the drivers might have additional questions. They might want to know stuff like, you know, what's the inside tire measurement, or you know, can you send me some extra pictures or whatnot? And that will be communicated right through this check your messages. So that's all right there. Very easy to use. You open it up and it's very much just like a text messaging on your cell phone. You just get into your conversation and type away. So very easy to use. The last feature I want to show you is our referral program. And this referral program is pretty simple, and basically, if you've got friends that you think might need to ship heavy equipment, we've made it now so you can just quickly click a few buttons and you can invite your friends to ship with us. And every time that friend does ship with us, now you get money. So this is, and again, it's just in that hamburger button, go down towards the bottom and click on referral program and you're into it. This little question mark explains how the referral program works. And I won't go through this, but if you desire, you can certainly go through it. But basically, if you have some friends that you think might ship heavy equipment in the future, you just click on send referral, type in their name and email, and send the invite. It's all pre-populated and it's sent out to them. And you can email it, you can text message to them, or you can copy a link and create the link, and you can copy and paste this into your Facebook or into your LinkedIn or whatever you would like. Now it's all managed here, and all the activity is managed, so you can see who you've invited. You can see how much money you've made in a referral, and you can see how many times they've shipped with us and whatnot. So you can see if you've invited somebody and they haven't shipped with us, certainly reach out to them at any time and you know, ask them what the heck's going on, man. How come you haven't shipped with these guys? Because you're wanting to make some money, basically, right? So that's a referral program. And now, if you guys have any questions at all, just feel free to throw them in the chat feature there as we're having this meeting, and also feel free to reach out to us at any time. So that is, I think that's about all I had. Let me just check my notes. I think that's all I had. Yep. So I'm going to stop sharing now if I can figure out how to do this, and go into some chats and questions. So if anybody has any questions, certainly feel free to ask away. Who enters the driver's information? So when the drivers, we do have a become a driver button on our website there, and the drivers enter all of their own information. And when we collect years of experience, major companies they've hauled for, 3 references, we request insurance policy numbers, any driver's abstract, any at-fault accidents, things of that nature. And then once they have submitted their profile, they're in a pending status now, and we would be checking all of their information, verifying it, and then sending it. If we decide that we're rejecting a certain category, we can reject that, or we can approve them. And once they're approved, then they're accepting those loads. And again, when they accept a load, you know, you can see the profile, make your own decision whether you want this driver or not. If you don't want the driver, you can decline them. And at any time, if you want to request a hard copy of their insurance, you can certainly request that. And then also, as far as insurance goes, we have our own freight forwarding insurance as well. I'm just reading some of the questions here. Yep, just for John there, I think John, he's got customers that might require just specific trailer types. That's no problem. You would just add that on the job sheet under the notes, or you could put it right in the description and just indicate exactly what you need for a trailer type that would be coming in to pick up the equipment. That's no problem. Don Parsons, hi Don. Does your mapping system have up-to-date info on bridge clearances? No, it does not. We don't suggest, like, our drivers are really the experts of the industry. That's the unique part about our program. We're not the cheapest out there in the world, but we're very competitive in our rates. We have very good rates, but we do pride ourselves on having expert truckers, and we don't try to indicate what route they have to take, by no means. So they're the professionals. They do this stuff every day, and they're the ones out there making decisions on what routing they're taking. One from Danny. When we bring equipment across from the border, paperwork, etc. Yeah, we don't typically handle any of the freight brokering or the customs brokering. To our experience, we have, it's usually either the customer that very frequently ships equipment across the border and they have their own customs broker that they prefer to work with, or our trucker has a freight or a customs broker that they prefer to work with. So we typically don't get involved in it, just for the fact that we don't like having another point of communication. And if it's direct communication between you as a customer and the driver, we feel we can provide the best service that way. So we try not to get involved in it. We have handled customs brokering in the past. We certainly can do it if you desire, but we prefer not to. Okay, I think that's it for questions. Let me see if I had any other questions I thought I could touch on. No, I think that's about it, guys. So I really appreciate everybody taking part in this, and I sure hope to see you shipping with us in the future. And if you have any friends that are you think might be looking to ship some equipment, feel free to send them our way. And any questions, reach out to us directly at any time. We really appreciate any feedback. We want to be the best shipping system out there in the market, for sure. So any feedback is appreciated. Thanks very much, guys, and have a good day.